About 6 o'clock in the morning here. It is still dark, yes. Hi, how are you? It's getting light. It's the Charlie Brown sky, as I call it. When it looks coppery and yellow and gold, a little bit of peach in there. Starts turning into the greens and blues. Yes, the Charlie Brown sky. Good. Yeah, hopefully. Oh, on that, I don't have too much to say about that. I don't even know what the score of the Super Bowl was. Who won? Tell me. No, I really don't. They don't think. No, I know, right? No, and I predicted what the score would be. What did I say? I said 27-24. Was I close? Pats, yeah. I have to look it up to find out. Maybe later. We're doing it just for today. I love this book. I was originally I opened to 102, but I'm going back a few pages. Well, we had just read that one, so I want to read. Let's see. Perfect. April 8th, page 98. What, the halftime show? You know what? I think it's ridiculous. Anyone and any public figure using their platform, popularity, and reputation to try to promote either or is pretty sad at this point, ignoring the actual facts and concerns many are trying to bring awareness to in our country and the whole world, really. Have you listened to any of the doctors and experts about the issues with vaccines and overprescribing of SSRIs? And how the ignorance to that and public figures playing into these games with these news networks and sports channels and news networks. It's pretty disgusting. I know, it's all part and parcel. What can you do, really? I think it is really sad. So much of society and the population, and they completely ignore it and don't even address it as though it's not even there. Anyone who tries to say anything is just jealous. Or something, right? Yeah, butthurt, whatever it is. Just grow up. Hopefully, we sure hope so. We're right here in Augusta, Maine, hoping that the proper authorities do what they're supposed to do to help our children. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions as to how we can help them without breaking the law, thank you. Page 98, April 8th. Yeah, that's the kicker, is there's not. And when you're aware and you know that, you go, oh, and you start to get it. It is disturbing, and how it gets ignored, and then eventually, someone on the street or someone gets paid off or tipped off, do a favor, destroy that one, and you'll get perks over here. Yeah, these games have been played since we were kids and before. It is very sad and scary to us, especially when you have drug traffickers and druggies and pieces of shit sluts and people doing the fraud and stuff all around you. Most of them have moved away. And the ones that are left around, as you can see, they're pretty young. And back when all the fraud and stuff was being exposed, many of them weren't even in high school yet. So yeah, I'd wake the fuck up if I were you. Pack your shit and get the fuck out of here, or you help us with those children in the hands of sick, murderous pedophiles. Those are the facts. Yeah, many people have already accepted those facts. Getting the locals in these communities to wake up to that, because when they're not accepting those facts and they're protecting the abusers, that's a problem within our state departments and schools. When you understand how things work in communal settings. Yeah, obviously many don't seem to get that, and they want to play fucking stupid and chitter chatter behind our backs, make all these reports and waste a lot of time and money, and they're making other people a lot of money by ignoring. And our children, no one even knows they exist. And many profit from them at the same time. Isn't that strange? I know, remember they put them up on the big board when we went to Canada? Yeah, after the doctor's office told us we were going to die if we didn't have a vein surgery. That was bullshit. Yeah, and they lied to Norm Macdonald around that time too with the stem cells. Look it up. Yeah, between 2014 and 2017. Just look up that time frame and you'll see it. Yeah, you can see some other stuff that was going on too with some of those psychic networks and fentanyl people, ketamine, ecstasy, the trafficking of a lot of that stuff. Notice how that doesn't get mentioned much, and those are the most dangerous ones. And the catalytic converter dust, that was mentioned quite a bit. People were even getting locks on their freaking catalytic converters. Right, so it's not as though it doesn't exist. So when you have these idiots around here rolling their eyes at everything, hoping no one notices anything, profiting from the abuse and neglect of us and our children, you're fucked, dude. You're sick fucking people. And I hope you die in a bottomless pit of your own bullshit. Oh yeah, all the way. You're welcome. Thank you. Trouble with a Meaning, April 8th. A missioner in a dangerous zone in China kept receiving letters from his family and friends, warning him of the risks he was taking. They were worried about his safety. Finally, he wrote to all of them that he appreciated their concern for his welfare, but they should not be over-concerned about his safety. After all, he would have stayed home in America if the big object of his life was to play safe. If you are really in earnest about playing a role, however small, in restoring peace to the world, you might as well face it. Your life will be filled with trouble. But it will be the kind of trouble that will mean something. It will be trouble that will give you peace of heart and soul, and the deep consolation that you have freely taken it upon yourself for the sake of others. You will suffer the same inconveniences, hardships, obstacles, and misunderstandings that Christ himself promised would be at the lot of anyone who dared to be a Christ bearer. If God be for us, who is against us? Romans 8:31. O God, give me the courage to make any sacrifice, gladly, that will honor you and help others. April 9th, one set of manners. Hello. A distinguished lady, noted for the fine family from which she came, was once presented at the court of the Queen of Holland. Later, the wife of a minor government official asked her how she happened to know the proper way to behave before a queen. I really don't know, the woman replied, but I have only one set of manners, and I use them all the time. We should have only one set of manners, too. We should always be gentle, kind, and most of all loving. Treat the rich and the poor, the attractive and the unattractive all the same, because each is a reflection of Christ himself. Amen, I say to you, as long as you did it to one of these, my least brethren, you did it to me. Matthew 25:40. Lord, teach me to love all men, as you did when you suffered and died for them. April 10th. Few control the many. In April 1952, an epidemic of prison riots broke out over the nation. One of the most violent was in the Michigan State Penitentiary, where 2,600 convicts took over half of the prison, holding 11 guards as hostages. One inmate gave a vivid description of how it happened. A few tough lifers took charge. If you didn't side with them, the inmate said, you were done for. They were like wild men. They walked up and down the cell blocks and worked everything they could put in their hands and wrecked everything they could put their hands on. Some of them had meat cleavers or carving knives. It is the same old story. A determined, reckless few can control a lethargic majority who are not sure of what they want or where they are going. This is, in miniature, a sample of how a ruthless dictator comes into power. Our country could fall in the same way. However, a few million people dedicated to the spiritual principles upon which America is founded could start a trend for the better, but they must be found in a hurry if our country is to be saved. You can do your part by helping to restore loyalty and integrity to all of the vital fields. And the Lord said to him, if I find in Sodom 50 just within the city, I will spare the whole place for their sakes. Genesis 18:26. O my Jesus, strengthen me so that I may help to strengthen my country. April 11th, page 101. Accentuate the positive. Wishing to test her students' powers of observation, a teacher told them to write down what they would think if they went into a room and found cobwebs there. Each child except one gave the same sort of answer. The room had not been dusted lately. The owner was careless. The tenants were dirty and lazy. The answer the fourth child showed that she was a more positive frame of mind. A spider had been there, she wrote. Try to see the positive and constructive side of everything, if it is at all possible. Avoid being overly critical. Stick to the true facts of a situation without seeking harmful interpretations. If you expect God to judge you on all the facts, make sure you do the same in regard to others. Better still, emphasize their good points, and you won't have time to dwell on the bad side. Judge not, and you shall not be judged. Luke 6:37. My Jesus, teach me always to see the good in others. And we'll read the page we originally turned to. Page 102, April 12th. Off the air. I need a sip of water. It is getting a little bit lighter out. Turning a little more yellowy and peachy over there. Yeah, I hope so. Off the air, an elderly woman was eagerly expounding her views. Her husband listened patiently, but it was obvious that he was only waiting to present his side of the argument. Just when he thought he had an opening, the little old lady took a deep breath, smiled graciously at him, and turned off her hearing aid. There is a strong temptation for all of us to avoid the test, to find excuses for dodging our responsibilities and avoiding reality. It is far better for ourselves and everyone else to face the issue. It is God's will that we do. He didn't say it would be easy. As a matter of fact, he promised that it would entail hard work and suffering for anyone